Yo, this hot, this the spot, there it is, pod.com. We're interviewing the best comedians, so tune in quick and get your ears receiving them. We talking about life and life to stream right to you, from the microphone right to your home, dude. Side note, this might get embarrassing, but no, don't sweat, yo, cause there it is.
Welcome to the There It Is podcast, a comedy podcast to help you find your inspiration. I'm your host, Jason Farr. Let's do this. Thanks so much for joining us. We have a great episode for you today. It's with the husband and wife team behind Mister Mischief out in Los Angeles, California. And what they do is so interesting. It's an interactive themed live theater experience that they do with Mister Mischief. They're also behind Escape from Godot or Godot, depending on who you are and who you're with. And we have a really great chat, tons of good advice in here. So let's just get right to it. Here's my chat with Jeff and Andy Crocker. You all are based in LA with it's an interactive, is show the right word, or is it performance?
This is a great
experience?
question. First of all, great question. Second of all, Jeff?
Third of all, accurate in your question. So we create experiences. I think that's the main thing to say. Mr. Mischief creates experiences
Live.
all times. They're live and they are interactive. A lot of times people refer to it as immersive theater in that genre.
We like to say that we're designing at the crossroads of game, theater, and a third thing that I usually just change up depending on who we're talking about, are talking with. So it's like games, theater, and themed entertainment design, or games, theater, and improvisation, documentary, or so we really try to weave at least three disciplines at once. So not knowing quite how to talk about us is part of our brand. Oh no, it's not a great business plan.
But I would say too, we both have a long background in show business. So show is as
oh yeah, we'll go. Let's do show. That was a
good
really
word
long
as
answer. Sorry, get ready.
Yeah, I know you have a background in show business. I know Jeff, you did some things with was it animated? You're in the animated world for a bit?
I've done a little bit of everything, actually. A lot of worked in documentaries, worked in primetime television, indie films, special effects, both digital and practical, like monster suits and stuff. Been in the comedy world for a while. Andy?
The traditional theater, a lot of improv, daytime television, casting for primetime television. The only thing I think I haven't done, I mean, there's a lot I haven't done, let's be real. But in terms of like, I didn't do film as much as you did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the patience. I'm like, let's get her done.
Understandable, yeah. I saw something, Andy, with you and comedy sports. Is that where you trained? Is that the improv background you have?
I started at Comedy Sports in I'm class of 2000 Comedy Sports LA.
Wow.
So spent a lot of time there. Started as a performer, ended up as associate artistic director, did a lot of teaching, a lot of corporate comedy events. I'm just looking deeply in your eyes because I feel like I'm like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I worked with them for a long time, and I consider it like part of my like comedy. That was like my comedy schooling, but also my comedy job. My first professional job was with them for quite some time.
Oh, it's amazing. So,
and then I did end up working at like IO West and some of the other places as well. But that was like my home base from when I was very young.
Yeah. And you all, it sounds like you have taken all of these experiences you've had in entertainment and in show business and molded it into what you're doing now. Is that fair?
I think that is very accurate.
One of the best descriptions we've gotten. So thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's really the past few years have been about like synthesizing all of these different backgrounds into this one strangely shaped and really exciting artistic practice.
That's the thing. It is such a unique show or experience, I should say. Explain to people what your shows are right now? Because they're very interactive. I know you have Escape from Godot as part of your background. Like, what should people expect? Even though I'm sure there's plenty of unexpected fun that happens at your experiences, but what should people expect if they're coming out to one of your things?
Well, I think, but using Escape from Godot is a great example because it's our first project and it's also the one we're probably best known for. So we call it Escape from Godot because it's more annoying. You are correct, but we pronounce it the super annoying way on purpose. It's just a troll, a gentle troll.
A gentle troll.
That's the original pronunciation is Godot, isn't
The
it?
European one. We were just trying to be pretentious. So Escape from Godot is what if it's Samuel Beckett meets an escape room. So you're trying to escape from your friend's very important theater production. So you play with the play. It uses some of escape room mechanics, but the setting of a play and the clues are embedded in the performance. So you actually have to pay attention, get up on stage.
I would say the clues are embedded in the act of going to see a friend's show at a small theater.
And you promised them you'd stay no matter what. So that's the whole thing is like, no matter how bad it gets, you have to stay until you escape.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's very much built, or it sounds like it's really built around community in a sense and trying to get people connected. Is that also a part of it?
100%. I would say like the thing, so though we started with this puzzle play, we've also done, interactive and experiential documentary, memoir. We've built things for the Santa Barbara Zoo. We've done all sorts of things. But in the end, the core is all about, we make fun forward experiences that turn strangers into pals. So our idea is like community building, fun stuff.
Yeah, I think Escape from Godot is a good example because if you're familiar with sort of the escape room world, a lot of people prefer like private bookings. Like it's just them and their friends going to an escape room together. They don't want to necessarily have to solve puzzles with strangers and all that kind of thing. And we sort of took that and like, well, when you go see a play, you're in the audience with a bunch of strangers that you probably don't know. And so we always, for Escape from Godot in specific, have it sort of open to the public. And so everyone gets to work together. Now, all of a sudden, you are there as the audience together working on the whole thing. And I think, and we like that. I think having people have to engage with each other in a respectful way creates a bond.
And for those of us who are not from the improv universe, sometimes talking to a stranger is a puzzle, is as hard or harder than some logic puzzle or something like that. That is somebody's bungee jump, is talking to a stranger. So we like to help make that happen in really playful and, as is our title, mischievous ways.
Yeah. And it keeps it sort of, since it's playful, it keeps it fun, which makes it, sort of defangs those experiences for people.
Yes, that is a great way of putting it.
Yeah. So when you two started working on these things together, what was the impetus for it? What was the spark that made you say, we've got to do these sort of things?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of worked alongside each other and helped each other out for a long time, but I had a text exchange with our friend Mike Sablone about what if would anyone give us money to make a Waiting for Godot escape room? And we both laughed at that. And when I told Andy said, "Oh, we have to do that."
I think my full quote was probably something more like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think we have to do it." And I think I feel like this is really relatable for a lot of folks who make, indie comedy stuff, which is like, it was making us laugh so hard. We were like, I wonder if anyone else thinks this is funny. And then it turns out we built it to last for 24 hours and it ended up running on and off for at least 2 years and then coming back over and over again. But then we had already collaborated on a life together, right? Being partners, we collaborated on a home and a wedding and a child, and long before we ever made art together. So when we started building creative stuff together, it seemed like a natural progression of our weird sensibilities and then inviting other people into it.
Yeah.
In a way that's different than inviting someone into your marriage. That's a podcast for another time.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast. But inviting people into our artistic practice seemed very natural for us. And back to your original question of like, besides Escape from Godot, like what can you expect? I think that is really at the core of it, which is like whatever story we're telling, we're inviting. We call them guests as opposed to audience, because that's how we feel. It's like we're hosting them in our creative space and we're building stuff together. We're telling a story together, which has a lot of similarities to improvisation, but I find improvisers are really comfortable improvising with other improvisers, and not every improviser is comfortable or excited by improvising with someone who does not know how to improvise, who might be really shy, not a performer, just like a regular, degular person. And that's a related skill, but not
the same.
Not the same. And there are really great traditional theater actors that cannot improvise, but can with a regular person.
Yeah.
So I went on a tangent, but I'm excited.
Hey, I'm glad you are. No, that's interesting though. But there are those different wavelengths for it, where I think sometimes at my theater, at our mixers, the people who've been performing together for a while or performing for a long time and are on teams will go to the mixer and are so game to play with someone who's brand new. It's sort of like the best improv we do, because we're just focused on that person, and let me keep this person from feeling too anxious. I want to support them. But yeah, there are certainly improvisers I've seen who just don't want to perform with somebody who's a beginner or has never done it. And they have no interest in that. And I guess it's more self-focus of they want to shine. They don't want to have to put someone else out first.
And it's a different skill set too.
Yeah.
Like your skill set of improvising with someone who is lightning quick is really different than like, someone's Aunt Wendy that bought a ticket to the show and now is being asked to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And is not doesn't want to improvise, like doesn't even want to be there. Like they just like, it's just, that's why theme park performers are often incredible immersive theater performers, because they are used to like humanity.
Every type of person and every different language.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that you did some shows at Disneyland and Universal. What were those shows? How did
Jeff
you...
and I have both worked in themed entertainment for a long time as well. As a performer, I worked at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. They make you say the whole thing. As this show called New York Window, which was just two improvisers. It still exists. It's the best gig. It's the best gig. You just wear pajamas and gossip out of a window in a New York accent. I just like channeled my family. That was as a performer, but we've designed a bunch of stuff for theme parks.
Yeah.
So do you want to say things about what you did?
I mean, I mostly have worked on the like fabrication, design, build side of things for theme parks. Did a lot of work for the Jurassic World ride at Universal Studios Hollywood, and then also did a handful of elements of Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. And then we also designed a building and an in-person experience at the Santa Barbara Zoo that opened in 2024. So that is a combination of sort of like message and education, as well as unscripted interactions with guests and everything.
And teaching like zoo people to improvise was a really fun chat. Like they are not actors. They are people that are trained to talk about animals.
Yeah.
And like that journey was so fun and so challenging and really rewarding. That's where the comedy sports training really comes into play, when you're doing this like family friendly. And Jeff, we met because of comedy sports.
We did meet because of comedy sports.
Oh, wonderful.
Jeff.
No, you brought it up.
Oh yeah, Jeff was in you did comedy sports in high school.
I did.
And also Jeff was in a band that came to entertain the kids at the comedy sports summer camp where I was teaching. So
that's lovely.
Comedy underpinnings forever.
Well, that's a great way to meet. I mean, I met my wife at a improv theater, so
See?
There you go.
There you go.
There it is. No,
There it is.
you know, when you were talking about doing interactive shows with people who work at a zoo, my brain automatically went to improv with animals. And I was like, I know people have brought their dogs on stage with them, but I wonder if you could do a show with, you know, like a gorilla or something.
If it goes wrong, it goes.
It goes
If that
horrifyingly,
gorilla
yeah.
does not yes and you are dead.
Yeah. Who is the Coco? Is Coco the gorilla? Was like could communicate so well with people.
Yeah, very famous gorilla.
Yeah.
Coco.
Mm,
I don't know
Yeah.
where Coco is now, but probably not
Not
on
alive.
I
Earth.
No.
don't believe she is with us any longer, but what a fascinating creature she was. But I bet you could do improv with, since she could communicate.
Yes, you are correct.
But I wonder how playful she would have, like, would she have gotten the joke?
There's a whole video of her with Robin Williams. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
she's joking. And she also like blamed a cat for knocking over a lamp when she did it. I don't know if there's footage of it, but I feel like
She was mischievous.
she was mischievous.
She was. She was. She apparently was also sad when she found out about Robin Williams' death. So,
Yeah.
you know, that was, gosh, she was fascinating and much more intelligent than many humans we have to walk the earth.
Could not agree more.
This is true.
Some of these mean people out there on the internet. So when you are deciding to do this show, like the interactive stuff, when you first started doing things together, how did you go about trying to get it off on its feet?
Well,
The shortest answer is that early on, we were all self-produced. So we would figure out how to do it all ourselves. And we had a lot of knowledge in that sense. Like, I'm a fairly seasoned producer. Andy is a well-experienced director. We have a good community, so we like know the people. Learning how to sort of design, prototype, playtest puzzles and the like was new, but it wasn't something that we were unprepared for. We like games and everything. And then specifically when we started working together with Escape from Godot, we did it for the Hollywood Fringe Festival. So it was also easy to sort of identify an infrastructure of ticketing and marketing that was already laid out for us. And then we just sort of narrowed the scope to, what if we did it for a full day on a single day?
we did it 8 times.
I think we did it 8 times in one day.
8 shows one day.
And that's it. That was the idea. And we were, it's a small capacity show. There's only 8 audience members per performance to give it that sort of escape room style feel. And that was great. We sold that out. People enjoyed it. And then a couple months later, we did a self-produced run here in Los Angeles in 2019 for, I think, 6 weeks. And so we've grown over the years, as well as now we look more for partnerships with institutions that are interested in doing more experimental, interactive, immersive style work.
So yeah, now we're working, with La Jolla Playhouse for their Without Walls Festival, or, we'll do work, as we said, with museums or theme parks. And sometimes it's a matter of just connecting with arts organizations that are interested in making things that don't have a clean category. So the Speranza Foundation has been really amazing because they're interested in interdisciplinary work. So that's what we're working towards. And the general path tends to be, we build something small at our literal dining room table. Then we invite people over to try it out, like D&D style, where like, imagine you have a headset, or imagine you're in a zoo. And then we expand maybe to our backyard, and then maybe we rent a small space, and then before we're running it for the public.
That's so smart.
Yeah. And we're trying to have those like, and thens have a bit more support. That's because we're tired and we have a child. We need help.
Yeah, I imagine your background in all of the things that you've done informed you that it is better to start small and get it right before you present it to the public, which there are a lot of people who are just trying to put out, they're going from idea to the public thing so quickly, and especially when you think of like this, like Instagram musicians or something like that, where, well, not Instagram musicians, but there's some people who do like coworker music who will put their stuff out there. And on the one hand, it's like, hey, it's great that you are making stuff and that you have the guts to put stuff out there, but you're actually not ready with this project yet. You need those channels of different versions of the thing you're making to go through those channels of people you know and people you trust telling you, tweak this or this didn't work. And then also when you're putting it together, especially if it's something like a show, you see how it went. You see what worked and what didn't with your own eyes. You see like, well, this is what didn't work. Let me make it a little better. But so many people are just rushing now, it seems.
It does take a lot of patience and to get that feedback. Sorry, you had a light bulb over your head, Jeff. I saw it happen.
Yeah, I think that we're a little older, and I think that there is a very real challenge and a very real tension between that sort of like social media, like content creation that generates a very real audience, and probably maybe not as real as it looks in the numbers that you see, but a actual audience versus what I think a lot of us older folks, know that a lot of the path is, which is you want someone to find you, discover you, and say, come with me, let's do this for real, let's workshop this, and then we're going to roll it out. And I think both work, and the content creation side of things is a tricky treadmill that really does generate a lot of energy and audience, but it's hard to like jump off that to like dive into something that then becomes this thing, this like well-polished thing.
Right.
Because otherwise you're spending all your time on the polishing of the social media kind of stuff.
Well,
and then on the other side, it is just like, hey, if I spend all my time polishing this thing that I want to roll out, then you're like, I hope my 15 friends come to it and they bring one person. And so I think there's a tension there that is not easy to say one is better than the other. It's a challenge, and there's different approaches.
well,
Certainly.
if I may be old, also,
Please.
I mean, we were making stuff pre-YouTube, right? So we were a part of Channel 101 before YouTube existed. And so we were making comedy sketches and in VHS, like trading VHS tapes with each other. And
I mean, mini DV. We're not like
DV. Okay, we're not that
old.
old. It is mini DV. But I mean, I remember like driving over to someone's house to like drop off a tape.
There was still
right?
VHS.
There was still, yeah, like I have those. Anyway, listen, platform aside, we were making stuff before the second you made stuff, everyone had access to it, right? So our practice is very much, and I will also, just to bring it back to improv for a second, like there's, I can't remember who said it first. I wonder if you do. Whoever said sculptures in smoke. Chris Tallman is the first person that I heard say, or maybe it was Matt Young, but like, we're making sculptures in smoke. It felt like we could get our reps in without these consequences, right? And so you could be messy and silly or embarrassing and cringy and get your reps in without these super big consequences. So I think we like to preserve that in our practice, right? So we want to start it, like you said, with like a trusted circle so that we can be really confident when we share it, especially because it's participatory. You have to be able to feel really confident and take care of your audience. And if you don't feel secure in what you're offering up, it's going to be really hard for someone who's not a part of it to want to be a part of it. Does that make sense? Did I say words that made sense in a row? I think I did.
I think you did. I think it's, I just think that is such a smart way. And I'm glad you're saying it is such a smart way to approach it, because it does allow you time. Because I think the way a lot of people approach it can lead to burnout. And it's certainly, like you were saying, Jeff, people can get stuff out there. I mean, the social media algorithm sort of demands you putting a lot out.
It does.
A lot out every day. You got to put something out, or put a lot out in a week. So there's not the time to perfect it or test it before you put it out. And I think for some people that works maybe because of what they're making. But for some people, it might work because they have already done the training to put out good stuff consistently.
Yes.
But there are
Yes.
some, I worry about these people who put out stuff with no training and no understanding of what works and what gets them ahead. And they can get lulled into a false sense of security because they got a lot of attention. But some of them are getting the wrong kind of attention, right? And I'm really only talking about the people I see who make music, and it's like everyone in the comments is making fun of you. Like your engagement is from people who are laughing at this because they think it's bad. And that doesn't move you forward to get, it doesn't get someone saying like, hey, come along with me. Like if you're in music, you want someone who's going to say, oh, you're great. Let me sign you to my label or let me be your tour manager or something. These people aren't getting to that spot because they don't have the background yet, the experience yet that you all had going into this work. And they also maybe just haven't had the experience to grow and train. And so I sometimes lament the blog posts or guides or people who say, no, you got to just get a lot of stuff out, because they don't teach people to also train and get experienced and get good at the thing.
And having a community that can give you feedback along the way, because it's so
Right.
fast. I will say I am reminded of a conversation that we had with a very young person. He's just starting college, I think this year. A friend of ours he was over, and he's a very smart kiddo and a family friend. And I said to him something like, there but by the grace of YouTube go I. Like, thank God there's no videos of like the things I made when I was your age. I would just turn into a pill bug and like roll away.
Yeah.
And he said something that really stuck with me. He said, yeah, but for people my age, because also he has some, I haven't looked them up, but some, I'm sure, amazing videos of him rapping when he was 12. And I remember him saying, yeah, but the thing is like, we're bully proof because everybody has horrifying things online. He's like, it's a great equalizer. No one, because everyone my age has that. No one could be like, oh, we found this embarrassing video. He's like, there's nobody that doesn't have it. So it's
Mom Donnie, being in New York, the people who were against him were trying to be like, here's a video of him rapping, and people are like not bad. Like no one, it didn't embarrass him.
Yeah, and that like because everyone has it, it like has neutralized it. He's like, and so this kid was like, he's like, that's more for the people a little bit older than me, when not every single person have it. He's like, people my age, it's like it's kind of bully proof. I mean, there are other things that you will be bullied for, and it is all horrific, and we do live in an absolute hellscape. But that did give me a brief moment of sweetness.
Yeah, no, I get that. That does actually make a lot of sense, because it does help people. It is an equalizer. It's like, well, we all have something we did when we were in high school that's cringy now. But, it also takes a lot of effort to go back and look for that stuff. And that alone is a little pathetic, to go back just to find something to embarrass somebody on. It's like, well, why did you waste your time doing that? Like,
you're obsessed with me.
Yeah. Oh, and also, like, they show that video of AOC in college dancing, and they're like, hope you all are happy with this. And it's like, yeah, she looks kind of fun.
How dare someone experience joy? How dare?
Kind of looks like a normal, well-adjusted person.
Right. Like, oh, you mean this video of her being happy? All right. Got my vote.
Sick burn.
Yeah, right. So you mentioned that you do some of these shows off and on, like the Godot show. What is next in the pipeline? What are you working on now?
We've got a new piece that we're working on called Again, and it is going to premiere at the Inverse Performance Art Festival in Bentonville, Arkansas, at the Momentary in December, just a few weeks away. And it will likely pop up again very soon, probably in California. But it's specifically about the very similar cycles of art making and caregiving, and how so much of what art making and caregiving on a daily basis is doing a lot of it. Maybe it brings you joy. Maybe it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it again the next day. And then you do it again the next day. And you do it again the next day. And so this is, very similar to our experience in our life of raising our kid, but also taking care of elderly parents, and then also trying to make our art.
All at the same time.
All at the same time, and how similar they are.
And so it's about a mom, a dad, and a babysitter, and being played by a director, a producer, and a clown.
Mhm.
And our collaborator, Tiffany Ogburn, she's this incredible performance artist, dancer, clown, immersive performer, and also our daughter's favorite babysitter. And so we're having a conversation about being caregivers and making art, and then we sort of lost the thread. We were like, wait, which one are we talking about? It's the same. We have the same values when we're making things and when we're caring for the kid. And so we built a show around it.
Yeah.
Lots of clowning, lots of shenanigans. And then
Clowning's
we
so big
involve
right
the audience in building some art.
That's great. Also, I know now, is this a book you have, Infinite Right Answers? Is that a book?
It's a zine.
Oh, a zine.
I like to say it's a beefy zine.
It's a beefy zine.
If you're a vegetarian, I would say it's a hearty zine.
A hearty zine.
Yeah. What is it? An impossible zine.
It's an like impossible. That's funny. Yeah. So it's or it's either a really small book or a pretty beefy zine.
Yeah. But it's called Infinite Right Answers, and we just sort of put it out there. People can buy it from our website. We started selling it about a month ago. We refer to it as a mini festo for fun forward creative types.
Yeah.
Because it's really, so much of our work is ephemeral, is sculptures and smoke, is like, if you don't live in where we are putting it on, you don't get a chance to experience it. So we tried to sort of put our creative values into something that we could share, analog, and hold it in your hands. And it's interactive. There's like little activities in there to get your creative juices going, as well as some awesome illustrations by Jeff Crocker.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, they're really cute. I love them. And it's a lot of the questions people ask us all the time. We just wrote the answers down and illustrated them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's not necessarily a prescription or exactly a, like, you must do this in order to create an experience. It's, again, like questions that we ask ourselves, a way that we sort of approach thinking about experience design. And so much of what everyone's trying to do right now is experience design. How do you take care of the audience, your guest, your participants?
And experience design can mean a lot of things. It could mean an experiential piece of art, but it also could be, like we worked with the library last year. It's like librarians are experience designers. They're thinking about how their patrons are moving through the space and how their information is received. If you are producing a stand-up show, you are an experience designer. How is the audience experiencing the holistic, from the moment they step in the door to the moment they leave? If you are hosting a birthday party, you're an experience designer.
Can we talk about how comedy sports is experience designed?
What?
Right? Because it's like, this is a sport. You are coming to a sporting event. And so much of what has been designed for that experience, while it is a lot of the traditional like improv get fours kind of things, it's all sort of encapsulated in this theming of a sporting event. So there's intermission, which is halftime.
We cannot speak to every comedy sports in the nation. There's so many of them.
Okay, all right.
I just want to say, I don't know.
But it is experience design.
But yes, I mean, like, but I think there's also, last night I saw a show at the Elysian called Silent Partners Picture Show, which was a whole show in the style of silent movies. But they had, the bar was two like oldie timey bartenders, and they sold candy cigarettes, and they moved all the drinks into martini glasses. So by the time you walked in, everybody there was like, say that. Like, it didn't, like, everyone was in world because the whole thing was experience design. So if you're in a more traditional art form, or if you're just throwing a birthday party, or if you are, I already said library, I should have more coffee. But anyway, experience design is both an art form and just a way of thinking about gatherings.
That's really interesting. I love that. I also need to get this book or Beefy Zine.
You know a guy. We can hook you up.
You all are doing so much, and I wonder for the people who also want to be as on top of it as you are, if but yet they're struggling. I'm speaking from experience. How do you get so much done? Does it kind of go back to how you say you start small with these projects?
First of all, I just would like us to just take this moment to
Yeah.
be like, someone just said that we were on top of things.
This is
Can we just hold this in our
Great.
hearts? We have
It's also being recorded.
Yeah, it's being recorded. Other people are going to hear this. And we have this joy jar. We put like every time something happy happens, we write it on a piece of paper, put it in a jar so we can look at it at the end of the year. Because even when we're like
that's
sad,
lovely.
then we just dump it all out. This is going in the joy jar.
For
We were told
Yeah.
on the record that we are, and I quote, on top of things.
The answer is anxiety.
High functioning anxiety.
High functioning anxiety. I don't have anything else
Because
to add.
it's an audio medium, I'm going to let you know my eye is twitching. One of those weird muscle eye twitches that they say will be helped if you eat a banana, and it doesn't help.
I'll elaborate on that a little bit. It's anxiety, but I think there's also an aspect where there's two of us, so that helps.
Sure.
Having a partner or partners is really useful. And then if you think about this sort of like, not that this is the way all things are in show business, but the fact that like one of us is a producer, the other is a director, we both
Right.
have similar creative thinking, thoughts, the way we approach things for sure, but the way our sort of mechanically and process oriented, we do things a little differently, I think is complementary, I should say, is also helpful. So
Jeff is goal oriented, and
Mhm.
I am experience oriented. So
well, the easiest example of that
yeah.
is going to Target.
Mm.
I want to
Wait,
go.
we're boycotting Target.
We are boycotting Target.
Going to the supermarket.
If you were to
Yes.
go to a Target-like thing or supermarket,
Supermarket.
I like to go to where the thing is that I need, get it, and go check out and leave. And
Mhm.
Andy would prefer to go through every single aisle, which I believe just in case there's something that you want to get or forgot about.
That
So
is
wasabi
exactly how my
mayo at
mom,
Trader
yeah,
Joe's.
that's
Are
how
you-
my
are
mom
you-
does it. But
Are
I
you
am,
experience oriented? You're goal oriented.
I like to go, so if I was just at Whole Foods a couple days ago, and I did have to go down most every aisle, but only because I didn't know where certain things were.
That's different. That's fair. You were, but again, that's a mix.
But I was goal oriented. I was like, I got to get stuff from this aisle, and I got to get stuff from that aisle, and then I got to find this. Yeah.
Yes.
You're a well-balanced individual. That's very smart.
Yeah. We are imbalanced. No, that's not true. We're complementary, I think. So thank
Yeah.
you for saying that. But like a lot of it is, I guess to think about it in like very explicit terms, like there's two of us, which is great. We're complementary, which is a benefit. And then we're, for the last 2 years, this has been essentially our full-time thing. And so there's a little bit of like do or die of just like, if I don't make the invoice to send to a client, or if we're not, doing social media for our zine, or when are the ticket sales going to start for the next experience we're doing, or is there any client management with work for hire? Like there's just a necessity.
Yeah.
And if we want to be cute about it,
Oh, sure.
the thing we like to say is like we help each other dream real and plan wild. So I try, I push Jeff to like go a little more blue sky,
Sure.
and you push me to be like, but it must be physics.
exist.
Physics exists. We must have some. It should be executable,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
helps us get things done. Also, we're very tired.
Yeah.
All the time.
And how do you receive notes? Because that's something that could be tough for partners who work
Hey, Andy.
together.
Such a good.
Hey, Andy, how do you receive notes?
Poorly. No, I'm just kidding.
That you're not kidding. You're not kidding. This is being recorded. You're not kidding.
laughing because just the other day we had this conversation and I finally was like, I am bad at getting notes, which is
Really?
why I'm first of all, I'm very good at giving them because I am a director and I have empathy. No, I do, because I think one of the reasons why I do give good notes is because I know how it feels to get a bad one.
Sure.
And I'm very, very deliberate with the words that I choose. Why? You're still smirking at me.
It's funny.
That's not to say I can't take feedback. This is not good for my getting hired for things.
Well, you're
No.
getting the work done, so you obviously action things.
Well, I really, really love Liz Lerman's critical response process. I'm sort of obsessed with it, which is like, I want to get notes on the things I want to get notes on that I am working on. I do not need to get notes on the thing that I very deliberately, because I'm anxious, spent like hours choosing one word. Right? Again,
Yeah.
now I sound inefficient.
No. I will jump off that for a second, which is like, I tend to want feedback. I tend to think about feedback from a temporal place, which is like, I kind of want it soon and I just want it direct. Like, because I always, as I say, as a producer, project manager, like, there's so many other parts to the process that possibly have problems that we haven't reached yet.
Right.
So if there's something that, Jason, you're just like, oh, I don't like this, I have a note on it. Like, great, let's talk about how to fix it, or I'll tell you why it can't be changed, adjusted, stuff like that. I want it sooner and I want to get through it and I want to talk about it. I would say, Andy,
Tell me what I am like.
you are a little bit more need the emotional space to process something. It does not mean you can't take it. It does not mean that it's not a good feedback, note, critique, and that you won't agree with it. But sometimes it does require time to sit with, think about, process, break it apart, put it back together. And that is always successful.
I am not
But
the
it's not
person
timely.
that goes like, note taken, and then just does it. Like, if I say note taken, it sounds sharp in a way that
Like it just did.
just did. Like, I'm not like a heard, cuz like I'm not like it's not. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I need space, but I do think that it does create, that's why I love the critical response process, because I really do want feedback, but I want the feedback on what I don't want is like
It's the classic television rough cut of just like, is the font gonna look like
font, and I'm like, oh my god, no, that's the temp font. I already told you.
Yeah.
Tell me about the thing I need feedback on.
Yeah.
I also prefer
Fair.
to watch people experience something, and that is my most valuable feedback. If I show something and people don't understand it, or aren't being able to follow directions, or aren't laughing, or aren't moved, that's very valuable to me.
you are confident in your expertise of the experience that you are designing as an artist, and therefore you can see when people are not having a response that you're intending with your artwork or your
That's my
creative piece.
favorite kind of note. It's
when you're like,
more face.
Well, I'm a little bit of both, I will say. Like, I do want, I don't like beating around the bush. I don't like the sort of, here's a spoon of sugar and then like one grain of a note. It's like, get to the point, please.
Oh yeah, you don't like a compliment sandwich?
No. And I understand as an improv teacher that it's good to do that. If you're coaching a team or teaching a class and you're giving them all a note, I see their faces. So I understand the need for a compliment sandwich. I personally want people to get to the point. And so if they're like, look, you're very good at this, and it's like, shut up. Like, please stop talking. I don't need this. You do not
Jason,
need to hold my hand.
Are you familiar with ask culture versus guess culture?
No.
This blew my mind when it was brought up to me. There's like one YouTube video that is very explicit about explaining ask culture versus guess culture. And it's possible that when you are aware of it now, you will be like, oh my God, like it's like Neo at the end of the Matrix. You're like, oh my God, I can see everything. And a lot of it is the concept. The thing is that there's some people that are very good about asking for what they want, and no is a perfectly acceptable answer. Jason, can I have $100? And you could say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like, all right, great, no problems. I needed to ask. And then there are people that are like, Jason, how much money is in your wallet right now?
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, right. And the whole idea of it, the fact that it's sort of culture base.
Like family culture, not like there's some geographic culture, but it also like you could grow up next door to someone and your families are one is ask and one is guess.
One is ask and one is guess. And so like guess is like asking directly is like the worst thing you could do.
Oh, wow.
And it is like rude if anyone asks you directly for something. There's a much more way to like beat around the bush. I am 100% ask culture.
And I was raised by guess culture and have married into an ask culture family.
Gotcha.
And
we have to learn to live with each other on this season of Yes the Ask. I don't know.
But I do think that is like
understanding that difference.
It makes sense why you're like, no compliment sandwich. Just please give me the I guess
tell me the thing. I will
also it should not be called a compliment sandwich because you don't say roast beef sandwich when the bread the compliments are the bread. It should be called the note sandwich or something.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say I think compliment sandwiches taste bad when the compliments are forced and they're not real and they don't have the weight of the center of the sandwich. So if the positive reinforcement is specific and real and genuine, you wouldn't feel like it was a waste of time. And especially with something that is ephemeral like music or improv or whatever.
Yeah.
Third example is that positive feedback is less helpful. It's like, that was really funny when you said that one thing versus something that you could use again the next time. I feel like you probably wouldn't feel like it was a waste of time if it was actually useful, positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And I think the notes, what separates good teachers and directors and facilitators is that they are able to be comfortable that clarity is kindness. And that I'm just being honest is like horse shit.
Yeah.
But like being clear and direct can be the kindest thing you can do. And
That's
so
how
as
I
much as Jeff likes to make fun of me that I don't take notes well, it's just I like a good note. I take well articulated notes well.
No, you just need time to sit with a note.
Yeah. And I sometimes need to think about it to figure out how to break it, but I'm not upset about the note.
Yeah.
I'm just
you have like the note behind the note.
Think about it. Right. Or just like figuring out how to action it.
Yeah.
That's my only thing really is like, just tell it to me straight and then I'll go figure it out. But it just grinds my gears when it's like, let me sugarcoat this for you. It's like, I don't need it. I will be diabetic with the amount of sugar you're putting on you.
You're a really good person. And also, that was bad.
Well, we've reached the end of the episode. It's time to create something together. And I'm wondering if there's a way to demonstrate what you do in a couple of minutes, or if we should make it an advice creative thing of how maybe you could go over tips on how to build something like you two have built. Which option would you like to go with? Like demonstrating what you do, or would that take too long? Or laying out how to go about a career like you have?
Yeah, I mean, my gut is like tips is probably a little bit more succinct and direct.
Okay, good.
Which we know you like because we've been paying attention.
Yes.
Do you concur?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, is there something that we do in the thing that we could do out loud that's fun? Okay, so we have this one concept.
It's in your manifesto.
In our manifesto. We've never done this. This is like not designed to be done out loud, but we could try it.
We could do it.
So the idea is every project is a promise.
Okay.
So when you set out to make a project, that every idea holds a promise inside of it. And so pretty early on, you have to identify it, right? This is really your concept. Why am I talking about it?
I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. I have some notes in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I can't take them. So.
Yeah, every project, every show, every experience has a promise. And so there's two sides to that, because so much of this work is being created for guests, participants, an audience, or players, that there's the promise that they are assuming is as a part of it. And then as a designer, creator, developer, there's a promise that you are saying like, well, obviously this is what I'm promising you. And those don't always line up, but it doesn't mean that either is right or wrong. And so, yeah, we sort of think of it, for example, we created a experience called 40 Watts from Nowhere, which was the true story. It was a documentary. It was an interactive documentary about a pirate radio station here in Los Angeles in the 90s. And it's a true story. You can't change what happens to the story. You can't somehow make it them get away and not caught by the FCC. So we can't change any of that stuff. But when we're inviting people in to live this experience, the one thing we knew had to be there was playing music and talking into a microphone and running a radio station.
Choosing music and playing it. If we didn't have that, we'd be breaking the intrinsic promise of come run a radio station, but you can't play any music. Seems like that's a broken promise. So one thing we like to do is try to identify what we think the intrinsic promise of any pitch is. So example being, if I say you're invited to a cake tasting party, what is the intrinsic promise?
I'm going to be eating cake.
Correct.
That's right.
So that's an example. Or you are invited to a hat festival.
Oh, a bunch of hats are going to be there?
Correct.
Whether I get one or I bring one, I guess both are plausible there.
Right. And I think a lot of that goes towards like, what do you consider a festival? Like, what is it going to be, like multiple hats, or is it every type of baseball cap? Like,
well, that would be the baseball cap festival.
But the baseball cap is a hat.
Okay, so if we're going to do this as an activity, so we could like volley, like you could give us thing, we could give it a promise, we could go back and forth if you wanted to.
Sure. So I would just come up with another random thing like a hat festival, and then you would tell me
a place people would congregate.
Oh, okay. Well, a comedy festival, that's a place that people congregate, right? So
sure, yeah, right. The promise is that there's going to be all types of comedy, so that there's going to be your sketch comedy, your improv comedy, your stand-up
comedy festival.
Agreed.
So we know there's
Yes,
going to be multiple comedies.
But would you believe so many festivals that call themselves a comedy festival are only stand-up?
Breaks
And
my
I'm
heart
like,
every
hey
time.
guys, this is a stand-up festival.
Okay, so we'll give you one now. How about a cat fashion show?
Cats in the best fashion.
Yeah.
You're expecting cats in the best fashion.
If you showed up and there were nude dogs, you would want your money back.
Yes. An Amber Ruffin appreciation celebration.
Oh, that's good.
Because in this, the intrinsic promise is not that Amber Ruffin will be there, though that would be amazing, and I would give all my money.
She'd be invited.
Did you say it was a celebration? Yeah. So it would be a gathering, lots of people, upbeat, and I think the intrinsic promise is that it's going to be her whole career.
That's what I was thinking. We're going to learn as much about the current times and what we all may know and love from the current popular culture, as well as old school stuff.
And the celebration implies that like it's going to be a rollicking good time. This is not like a somber affair.
There's probably like some sort of dance party at the end.
Yeah, have to be. It's Amber Ruffin. Margaritas galore.
Yes.
Okay, so the purpose of going through this process is so people can, once they realize, oh, well, this is the promise, that's what my focus should be in creating this thing.
Or if you're when you get deeper in the process and you're like, oh, we should do this and we should do this and we should do this, it just reminds you, it's like, okay, but we have to. Because otherwise we're going to have to do way more work. You either have to fulfill or subvert that promise, that expectation very intentionally. So if I call it the Amber Ruffin appreciation celebration, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
It was I'm like very into it. Then if it turns out to be a roast like that, we need to be prepared for that, right?
Yes,
if the idea, or if it turns out it's a somber slideshow, like we've lost the thread, we've lost the promise. So you're either going to fulfill or subvert. If it's nude dogs at the cat fashion show, like you better advertise its opposite day, or people are going to be, you've lost your way.
Or cat fashion show with special guest dogs.
And the idea is like, as you get along in that creative process, and especially if you're people that like to dream big and you go like, yeah, and this, yeah, and this, yeah, and this, yeah, and this. But unfortunately, if we do it that way at the, Museum of Snow Globes, it turns out because we've built it in a bounce house, we can no longer have snow globes.
Right.
Like, you've lost your way.
Yes. Well, there it is. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, Jeff and Andy.
Thanks for having us.
So much fun. I'm sad we're in the Brooklyn of Los Angeles and not the Brooklyn of New York. I wish we could hang out. It was fun.
Such insightful information, and what a really fun chat as well. Loved having them on. You can go mix it up with them if you're in LA or heading out that way. Find info on their website, misterandmischief.fun, and follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Mister and Mischief. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at There It Is Pod, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at There It Is, and follow me on Instagram and Threads at Jason Farr Picks. Also subscribe to our comedy lifestyle newsletter and support us if you can. We have a Patreon and a PayPal. Go to thereitispod.com for newsletter and support info. Links in bio. Until next time, be good to each other. It's a moral imperative.
The music for the theme song was created by Neil Brooks. The rap was written and performed by Nick Acevedo. The logo for There It Is was created by Jeff Prater. The There It Is podcast is produced by Jason Farr.